Hey guys, Angela here. I'm talking about things I learned when I finished my book. Beta readers are really helpful. What I mean by beta readers is someone who reads a draft for you, or reads a chapter and then gives you feedback. This is important because as the author, of course you know what's going on, of course you know how it's supposed to feel because you're feeling it. But when you take the words, because that's ultimately all your reader gets, words on a page, and give them to someone else, and then see what they take away from it, it's hugely valuable, because ultimately your writing is about perception. What's coming across? What's in here has to translate on the page. It has to be on the page, and you don't know what's actually coming across on the page until you ask people. And of course everyone is going to get something different. So having multiple people read it and then tell you, oh, this is what I noticed, this is what I thought, hugely helpful. For my first few drafts, some of my beta readers just really didn't like my main character. And that was a problem because, you know, she's the main character, it's a first-person narrative, and also she was supposed to be likable. So I had to look and see, well, why aren't they relating to her? What is actually on the page and what's coming across? Also, some of my villains, or even not necessarily villains, but the characters that weren't supposed to be super likable, they're like, oh, they're so great, they're so helpful, and I'm like, they're the worst. They're like destroying people's lives. Why are you liking them? Why are you relating to these people and not my main character? So knowing that that's what's going on in your reader's head is really helpful. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. You could, change your main character. You could decide, okay, let's have a unlikable protagonist. Or it might force you to look at the villain's actual actions and say, oh, they're not actually doing anything so terribly bad. If I actually want them to be bad, they need to, crank it up a notch. So people don't think, oh, look at this nice person helping out, and they're supposed to be, the worst person ever. So, beta readers, get some feedback. This is hard. This is really hard, because up till now your story has been, in your head and in your heart, and then you've put it on your screen, and then to, give it to someone else to read and listen to their feedback. And do listen. Don't defend. Don't explain. Just listen and absorb what they got from reading your book. It's very hard. It does get easier as you go along, and very worthwhile. One note, make sure you find good beta readers. If someone isn't used to reading your genre, or they're biased in some way, their advice may not be worth following. So consider the source of the advice as well, as you're having people read your book and then editing based on those suggestions.